What is up, everyone? My name is Chris from Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Today, I am here to talk to you guys about the Anchor app. If you haven't heard about the Anchor app is the easiest way for you to make a podcast. Just like I did, you can create your very own podcast. The best thing about the Anchor app is, number one, it's completely 100% free to use. Number two, it is really easy to use. So if you're not good with technology, like my producer Lena here, this app is perfect for you. Number three, the app is available for download from your app store. The Anchor app provides certain tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. This means that additional recording software is not needed. Get it out of here. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. Best part is you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So guys, open your app store, download the free Anchor app today, or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, everybody? You're tuned in to the Conversing with Chris podcast. Check us out on Spotify, Anchor app, or Google Podcasts. Also, guys, go to the Facebook page. If you search under pages on Facebook, Conversing with Chris, the podcast, you'll see our page there. Make sure to give us a like, give us a share. Thank you guys for your support. Three, two, one. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Conversing with Chris podcast. Today is episode number 16.5. We'll explain why it's a 0.5 episode. It's only a half episode today. It's kind of like when you want to order a pizza, but you don't want the whole pizza, so you only eat half of it, and then the other half you just leave. That's kind of like what this podcast is. It's like we don't have enough of a full pizza to give you, but we have half.
But it's good pizza.
And it's good pizza, and we want you to taste it and try it and indulge in it and give it a try. And you know, maybe
Share it
you'll realize that this half pizza is just as equally good as a full pizza or a full episode.
Where the hell y'all went?
But anyways, guys,
thank you for spending your time with us, guys. Thank you.
So anyways, this is going to be today is Wednesday. What is it? The 18th of March.
Nina's birthday, shout out.
Shout out to her Nina and her birthday on the 18th of March.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy, happy, happy birthday.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
I
ooh.
know what that
Good job, Chris.
Oh, you see? I've been working on my vocal game for the past 25 years,
is.
so
You might want to work on it a
I think
little
it
more.
needs some more work, but it's
Yeah.
coming along. So anyway, guys, we do have an announcement to make. So here's an announcement for you guys. Breaking news. All right, guys. So breaking news on the Conversing with Chris podcast. We are officially going to be changing the name of this podcast to Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Misael is actually going to be joining us permanently as our new co-host. So round of applause for Misa here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Misa, any words for the new position? How are you feeling? What are your thoughts
Well-
on the podcast so far?
First of all, I want to say thanks to both of you. For those who haven't heard yet, I was on episode 13. A little background on that. We hadn't seen each other in years. So when I did show up, we had really good chemistry, and it was pretty fun. And I asked Chris to hire me, and he said, "I." He said,
I said,
"Yeet." That's exactly what he said, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see where this goes, and hopefully a lot of people enjoy what we're doing here. And thanks, man. Thanks to both of you.
so yeah, shout out Misa. Okay, so with that being said, Misa's gonna be our producer, our co-host, and now Miss Malena is going to officially be the producer of the Conversing with Chris. God bless, of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Sorry, everyone's still trying to get used to the new name. We still have to update the name on all our socials. Everything prior to this, any episode that was recorded prior to this, will stay as the Conversing with Chris podcast. Anything produced from today and beyond will be Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. So just a quick update on that. Lena, any words about being the producer for such a badass podcast?
Hell yeah.
Well, first up, thank you guys. Thank you for sharing your time with us, giving us your ears, spending time with us. It means a lot. We're a work in progress. There's going to be, trial and error through everything. So we're really glad Misa's here. I think it's going to be a new adventure. It's great. I can't wait. If you have any criticism, if you have anything that you favor, if you guys, want to spend time with us and be interviewed, share your life. I mean, this really is just an open discussion. So, hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah, guys. For anyone that's open to want to be on here, we'll gladly accept anybody who wants to come over and be part of it. Like Lena said, we're still experimenting. We're still trying to see where this is gonna go, and we're trying to get as much people part of it as possible. So, if you ever wanted to be on a podcast and want to talk about your life and stuff like that, let us know. And if you guys haven't checked out the podcast before, you guys need to. There's a lot of really good ones, man. There's one of my favorite ones. I think it was, what was it, Chris? Episode 1 or 2?
The second episode with my friend Jeremy Gonzalez. That was literally the second episode. So I started with episode 0, then I started with episode 00. Then I had episode number 1, it's called Hardly Home But Always Reppin'. That was the very first episode of the Conversing with Chris podcast. But there's a really funny backstory on episode number 2. It's an interview. This was recorded in October of last year, so just so you guys have a timeline to see how far we've come. When I did this interview, I was extremely intoxicated.
That's the best part about it, bro.
We're going to play you a clip. So this is a little clip. Okay, so Jeremy's completely sober. I'm intoxicated because we did this late night.
You're wasted, bro.
Yeah, I'm wasted. I'm not even going to try to, intoxicated, inebriated, whatever you want to call it. So there's a part at the end of the episode, and this episode is only 29 minutes long. It's probably the shortest episode we have. But there's a part towards the end where I just totally check out, and we're gonna play that part for you right here. So this is a clip from episode number 2 for you guys to hear. So check this out.
All right, dude. Well, I think this is gonna be the end, but we found out a lot about you.
God bless.
Hell yeah, man. We're at 4 or 5. Just remember that.
Is there anything
That's a
else
fact.
you want to say?
You are trying
No,
so
that's-
hard to talk, bro.
That's about it. I mean, every time I come back on the show, man, I'll tell you more. I can always tell you something new. There's still plenty of themes that I didn't tell you. So, we can always say that for next time.
Oh,
if I come back on.
so you're holding back.
I'm not holding back, bro. I promise.
No,
I
I'm just kidding. All right, dude. Well, good night, and we'll talk to you later.
So I literally say goodnight and hang up on them, and that's like how the podcast ends. That's all you hear, like.
Bro, and the funny part is, it's like you're like this the whole episode, bro.
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
At first, it's a little bit like more coherent, but yeah, towards the end, I'm just like I said, I just checked out. Shout out my boy Jeremy. Yeah, like we have some other good interviews. He's been on the podcast like 3 times. So there's other good stuff between us, but that part, it was just hilarious because I just check out and.
Hey, real quick, do you remember most of that?
It.
Were you that intoxicated?
No, I would.
Bet money he doesn't.
No, I remember everything because I remember what we talked about and everything. Like I remember what in the order we talked about.
All right.
Oh, there's a part in there where I'm clowning on him about his 40 time. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Go
that's
check
pretty
that
funny.
out
That's a pretty
too.
funny part.
That's at the beginning of it, and that's really funny.
But you know what, guys? Yeah, go ahead and listen, man. At the same time, I'll kind of let you guys know and kind of bring you closer to us, see how what we're about.
You can definitely sense the evolution as you listen. I think that's the best part about anything creatively is you want it to be as organic and authentic as possible. So every time we're together, it changes. So, like I said, let us know what you favor, what you don't. Hey, I like this better, whatever the case may be. We're open to discussion. We're already, like we said, on episode 16, going on 17. So.
Well, this is 16.5. Remember.
Okay,
Come on,
Remember that?
producer.
Remember that half pizza analogy?
Yeah,
That's where this
awful
comes in again.
analogy I've ever heard.
Hey, that was give it up for that analogy.
To any pizza places out there that want to sponsor us, let us know.
The pizza
Yeah,
joint,
no.
especially if you just want to give us half a pizza, that's
that
fine.
would be cool too. I
That
love
is
the
fine.
pizza joint. It's my shit.
So because of these changes, we also got some new equipment. We were trying to address some issues with sound. We're still trying to address issues with sound till this day. We spent like an hour before even going and recording this, just trying to fix all the sound, making sure everything's good.
And all the feedback helps too, guys.
Yeah,
Don't be
the
scared to
feedback
let
we
us know
got-
that we suck or not.
The feedback we got was that some of the parts Lena wasn't sounding loud enough, or she sounded too far away. So we tried to address that. We got her a better setup, so she'll be more involved in the podcast. Hopefully, it sounds cleaner, clearer, and overall, it hopefully this Rodecaster, this new setup that we got, hopefully all this enhances your listening experience. Like before, we couldn't play you live sound from a previous podcast like we can do today. So I think that's really cool.
There was a lot of editing behind the doors, or behind
behind the
scenes.
scenes, behind the
Chris had
curtains,
to-
if you will.
Yeah, definitely.
Behind the garage door.
So,
Chris
yeah.
would mess with that a lot. So we're just trying to upgrade.
So we're trying to make it a little bit better. So to celebrate the Rodecaster, to celebrate the promotion of Lena to producer and the promotion of Misa to co-host, we're gonna crack a celebratory beer here on the Conversing with Chris and Misa podcast.
The red coat.
A red coat, as they call them. So, but yeah, so like Misa said, guys, all the feedback you guys give us, that really does help us. It lets us know. It lets us know how to improve. It lets us know where we can grow. Anything that you guys feel is important to you guys is equally as important to us. So with that being said,
Cheers to that. brother.
before we get straight up like into the meat of this podcast, I do want to just play one clip from episode 13. That was the episode with me and Misa. We have right now 125 views just on that episode. So for sure, whatever we did, people liked it because a lot of people listened to that episode way more than any of the other ones. So
Which we gladly appreciate, guys.
Yes,
Awesome.
we
awesome.
we
To
definitely
each one of you guys that did it, thank you.
yeah, to everybody who listened, shout out. To everybody who showed somebody else, shout out. But yeah, that support is what's going to help us keep going. So remember, like us on Facebook. We'll be updating our socials. Show us to your friend, your brother, your sister, whoever. People will listen to us at the most random times, so it's really cool. And it really feels like we're starting to accomplish some of these goals that I first set out when I started this podcast. But before we do that, let's go into this clip with Misa. This is from episode number 13, which you can find on Spotify, Google Podcasts, anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find that podcast and listen to it. So here's a quick little clip from that episode. Like I guess your first memories of me like growing up.
You know what I think a lot about you is in middle school, and every time you come up, bro, it's like hey, there's Chris playing basketball. Let's go
Yeah,
hit him
you
up.
see?
You know, Joe being there.
Yeah, dude. Everybody. I was always down with the sports.
Yeah.
And everyone was about it. It was like, yo, we're playing basketball or football.
Well, if you think about it, that's all we had. We had no social media.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was just a quick excerpt of our episode, but the way that Misa says he thinks about me was a little weird.
I know.
Hey, man, I hadn't seen you in fucking years.
He's like, I think about you, and
Jesus.
I love you.
And then that's when Chris is like, "You're hired, motherfucker."
I was like, bro, I have not had somebody miss
Yeet.
me so much that I had not seen in 10 years that I didn't even know missed me. But yeah, so a lot of things have changed since this last podcast, not only with our setup and everything that's going on with the podcast, but also with the coronavirus. It's in full effect here now in El Paso. I remember we talked about this, I think probably back on episode 11 or 12. I know we touched about it with Misa. But yeah, it's getting real now. Misa, what are your thoughts so far on the coronavirus and its impact here in El Paso?
You know what's crazy is how fast it's gotten to this point. If you guys listen on episode 13, we're talking about when they first quarantined the whole city of Wuhan, you know, a city of 11 million people. And now here in El Paso, they're cancel schools, no schools anymore. They're planning to also close bars, restaurants, only takeout restaurants. So it's becoming pretty intense, man. People going crazy buying toilet paper. I don't know why. To all them motherfuckers, damn it. Right? I'm walking around with my ass full of shit. But whatever, you know, whatever makes people feel more secure, you know, it's fine.
So yeah, like a lot of people are freaking out about how fast it's spreading because, like, yeah, last time we talked about this, I think New Mexico had barely had like 1 or 2 cases, and now they have like 21, and it just like rapidly like blew up. And then in El Paso now it's starting to you know, it's starting to be more prevalent. Ciudad Juarez, our neighbor to the south, also reported confirming a case. So things are getting real out there, guys. Remember, follow the guidelines from the CDC, the Center of Disease Control. Try to stay home if you can. I know a lot of people have to go to work. Obviously, if you got to go to work, you kind of have to because people have bills to pay, and if you're not going to work, then you're probably not going to get paid. So
one big thing too, man, that you know a lot of people aren't taking this serious. Just recently came out in the news today that spring break in Florida, actually young people around our age or younger, they're not taking this serious.
Millennials, bro.
Millennials, yeah. And the
We're
thing
the worst
is
type
like
of people.
you guys could take this serious or not, but in my opinion is better safe than sorry. You know, like us young people, yeah, they say, you know, it doesn't affect us as much, but at the same time, you know, you go home to your parents, you go home to kids if you have any kids, your grandparents. And so it's just better safe than sorry, man. It never hurts to just stay home and start a new hobby, you know, start reading or something. I started a new hobby.
Yeah, so hold on. Before we get into that, babe, Misa's got a new hobby. Misa, can you show us what that hobby is, please?
My wife isn't a big fan of this, but I love you, baby. This is for you.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah. It's lit. Okay, so that's Misa's new hobby. So he'll have his harmonica album out. We're looking at, since everything is being postponed, we'll go ahead and postpone his debut album as well till Christmas 2059.
There it is, guys. Eventually.
So mark your calendars, guys. If you guys have a calendar with the year 2059 on it.
Wait, real quick. Does anybody still buy calendars?
Yes, yes.
Dude.
There's calendars all over.
My mom gave Chris one
I got a
Christmas.
calendar for Christmas.
Oh, and I have another one.
I think like the last 2 years, I got a calendar from work, a cowboy one.
Oh, that's
So I've been gifted calendars, you know. So
that's cool. I thought that kind of died away now that we have smartphones.
Wow, we got shit to turn
nah, dude,
in,
it's like the
deadlines to make.
newspaper. What do you need a newspaper for? But they're still there.
They
Right?
still have newspapers?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to El Paso Times.
Yeah.
So okay, guys. So back to the coronavirus. So in Italy, the death toll rose 475 in one day.
God diggity damn.
Like, that's crazy, guys. So I know a lot of people say, like, okay, this isn't that big of a deal, but when overnight in a country like Italy, 475 people died overnight. Nearly 3,000 have died alone in Italy, and they have a total of 35,000 confirmed cases, 35,713 confirmed cases in the country, with more than 4,000 having successfully recovered, but that's still a lot of people that died. And
it's only March, guys. This started like the end of December when it started, when it started coming out in the news.
Oh, really? Because
Right.
I was thinking, I thought towards the end of February. We gotta fact check that for sure.
and then
Like when the first cases were.
Right, yeah.
also, so
I had read that the first case in China was around December 1st or December 2nd.
I understand that the statistics are showing that people are surviving. I 100% think that's great. I get it. Our bodies are capable of doing a lot, and it makes sense in terms of when viruses and bacteria come and they infect. We want our bodies to be able to fight that. But the worst part about it, is, like Misa said, is our inability to recognize that we can be carriers without showing any symptoms, without ever getting sick, or long before we actually feel the symptoms. And everyone we come into contact with, if we're not careful on how we interact with those people, we could potentially be passing it on, and those people pass it on, and those people pass it on. So I understand that, fear is crazy and it can overtake a lot of things, hence why there's no fucking toilet paper. But at the end of the day, like, we do have to be cautious. I think doing what we can is only smart. Italy said, hey, like, we're going to do what we want, and now look at them. They're locked down completely as a country. I mean, whole countries are being locked down. And I think that's something we need to recognize, that if we do what we can now, then we can prevent as many deaths as possible, because at the end of the day, one death is still significant in my books for the U.S. people. And I think there's just so many other ways that we can be preventative, but we're being stubborn because we don't want to be told what
if you
to
think
do.
about it, that one death could be one of your family members.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but it's like, I hate to say it, but it's like the El Paso shooting. You know what I mean?
Right.
August 3rd didn't really resonate until August 3rd happened, and it was in our city, and we were, forced to feel the effects of gun violence and so on and so forth. So
Just take precaution, guys.
don't let it be your freaking grandparent before you realize, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing these things, or maybe I should just chill. I'm not saying never leave your house, but like, do what you can to listen to who. And
No,
see
fuck
the
that. Don't leave your house.
professionals.
Don't leave your house. Thank God we live on 2020 now, the year 2020, and now you got delivery. You could
Yeah,
order
there's a
anything.
lot of
we're gonna
things in our
start
corner.
having to do this podcast remotely with
Yeah.
church being at home.
Yeah,
And
for
then-
real.
But
I mean, the reality is that
in all seriousness, guys, up to date so far, there's been a confirmed 139 deaths in the U.S. alone. So if we do not do our part to stop the spread of the virus, then we have the potential to be seeing those numbers go up on a daily there's potential for us to hit the level that Italy's at, where they're losing hundreds of people every day, which that would be totally tragic. So, I mean, the local government is stepping up, the federal government is stepping up. Like I said, the CDC has all these tips to help control the spread. Wash your hands, cover your cough. If you're sick, stay home. If your kids are sick, keep them home. Avoid contact with elderly or high risk people.
Pregnant people.
You know what I mean?
Avoid big crowds, man.
Avoid big crowds. Try to stay home. I mean, I know people don't like to stay home, but I think that video that they showed on South Beach of like the beach, it's spring break, so I guess it's understandable, but it's literally like nobody's heeding any of the warnings, and it's kind of like I can kind of see what people are saying, like, these goddamn millennials, you don't care about anything, and maybe we don't, and maybe because we have our reasons. But that's for another podcast.
Yeah, you damn boom babies.
yeah, you
At the
baby
end of the
boomers.
day, what I think we also need to realize is that we're not testing in the U.S. like they are in other countries. So there is so much unknown data in terms of who has it, why do they have it and no one else is getting it, how are they a carrier? I mean, there's just so much
And,
that we don't
and most of
know.
all this, man, and you'll hear it often that this is just the beginning of it.
Yeah,
um,
Italy 2 weeks
See,
ago.
yeah, like in
Yeah.
Wuhan, they didn't decide to quarantine the whole city until it was already like extremely bad. We're already going through that, and that's just to prevent us to going through that. But
those
they're still
countries-
saying it's gonna get worse. And I'm not a doctor, whatever. I'm just a mechanic. Yeah, what ifs.
You're not a
But you know-
doctor?
But at the same time, if
On the
CDC
weekend only, it's
and
fucking
who
Wednesday.
the
Damn it.
professionals who are in
So-
charge of informing the public about what should and shouldn't be done, it would behoove of us to listen to the professionals because obviously we're not. So if they're telling us, yo, this is the best way to stay safe, this is the best way to keep your loved ones safe, I don't understand why it's so difficult to follow that.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally, and I'm sorry if that comes off ruthless, but hey, I have people that I care about, and if you infect me and they get infected and they pass away, I'm gonna be upset. It's gonna be heartbreaking. No one wants to lose anybody.
And for those that think that your phone or your computer is gonna get the coronavirus while you're listening to this,
Boss.
y'all need to
You
straighten up.
guys got to watch out because
The
that's
United
completely
States
not true.
education system has failed you.
So anyway, but yeah, a lot of big things are happening. They're closing the border with Canada for only essential travel.
People travel to Canada.
Yeah, like Drake. 2 members of Congress announced
Bieber?
that they're positive for the COVID-19. So that's Rep. Mario Diaz and another Rep. Ben McAdams. They have been confirmed positive. Also, Kevin Durant tested positive.
Him and like 3 other Nets.
Damian
right?
Lillard tested positive. We all know about no, not Damian Lillard. What's his name? Utah Jazz.
Hey, anybody knows what's going on in North Korea?
point guard.
I haven't heard anything.
Donovan
about those
Mitchell.
guys.
Sorry,
We're never gonna
Donovan
hear
Mitchell tested positive. Tom Hanks tested positive.
Woody.
Idris, so and so. But you
Yeah,
know what? But that's
I can't pronounce his name. That's
but
why I
that's-
didn't
but
bring him up.
That's the thing that you guys have to
Rudy
keep in mind,
Gobert.
like, it sounds silly because like it hasn't affected us, but he said it himself. He felt fine. He's an actor, right? He has the best of the best food, the best athletic or whatever. He has the best everything. Athletics.
Look.
And if he got
Coronavirus
sick,
does not give a fuck about how much money you
Yeah.
got or what race you
it
are.
doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a biological thing. It's a virus, and it wants a host. and
Except
it
for
wants
Mexicans. I
us.
haven't heard anything from Mexico.
But no, one confirmed case.
Sana colita de rana works out there, guys.
It does.
Show.
That's what they're all
I've been
doing.
hearing people are eating Bix.
No, well,
That's what
so-
I did.
They had to warn people not to drink Clorox.
Oh, what?
See, that's the awful
the
part.
hell?
Dude, I would say like if you guys are gonna drink it, then okay, fine.
Okay, so
That's on you.
let's move on to a lighter note.
It's probably all the tequila they drink out there that kills all that
Dude.
bacteria in their shit.
Okay, so off on a lighter note. Well, I guess not on a lighter note. I mean, this is a kind of a preview episode for our Fernando Cuevas interview that we're still pending. But Misa, a little update on that. What happened with him actually?
Well, we've had to postpone it before. I had a death in the family, so we decided to postpone it to this week. But actually during this week,
Heartless right there. Tell us what's going on.
right? Yeah, Misa, what the hell happened?
What the fuck
What
is going
the
on?
hell
Why are
happened?
people showing
God,
up?
I just hired you and you're not coming through.
Bro, I'm shifting the accountability, bro.
I
you
got
know
a
what I
lot on
mean?
my shoulders, guys. But
Yeah.
but no. Well,
If
first
I'm
of
gonna have
all,
hold on, if I'm gonna have a co-host, they're gonna have accountability.
Oh my god.
Hold on,
Well-
hold on.
Anyways,
Yeet. Yes, sir.
for those, well, to be okay, let's start. For those that don't know who Fernando Cuevas is, Fernando Cuevas used to be a co-host at the Buzz Adams Morning Show in KLEQ 95.5.
I gotta listen to some of those.
This guy's a really cool guy.
You can find clips of his on YouTube.
Yeah. This guy met a lot of people, and he's also really down to earth. I didn't think he would answer to my messages, but he did right away.
Messages. He's on 20 messages.
Right?
slid
It was just one, and he did it within like 3 hours. So that's, I
slid
think
it.
that's good enough.
He slid in his Facebook Messenger.
Dude, when I
The
got his
DMs.
message back, I was a little starstruck. I was like, "Oh my god!"
No
Anyways.
way.
Anyways, so yeah, we talked, and he said he'd never been on a podcast before, so he was willing to do it. But all
That's
this happened,
cool.
I rescheduled because, like I said, the death in my family, and And then so after that, he was ready to go, and we got news on. And if you guys haven't followed him on Facebook, or if you do, y'all know that he lives in LA right now, and he actually ended up being diagnosed with the coronavirus. You know, so
That's kind of ironic, actually.
yeah.
You
So
see
he's
what I'm
he's
saying?
he's taking
Like-
some time off. I spoke to him today actually, and he's still down to do it
That's
for
fair.
next week. So next week we're gonna interview him, and so sometime next week we're gonna post it up. So, but I mean before then, I'm sure we'll have a couple more podcasts coming up. But yeah, man, that should be a good one. This guy is known around. You know, he's interviewed a lot of famous people. One of my favorite things is he used to be in a little rodeo kind of deal. But we'll talk about it more once we interview him. But that's coming up soon, guys. But if anything, we probably will post a couple more before him because it's not till next week. But yeah, man, I'm excited for that, bro.
Yeah, so so I'm sure. Well, I'm sure they're in like some sort of quarantine now over there in Los Angeles.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know.
That's more stuff to talk
shut
about and
down.
ask on.
I know San Francisco is for sure.
I mean, but that's the crazy part is like California's not that far. It's gonna be interesting to see what he has to say in terms of how that state's handling it because there's 50 of us. So
I know we're not in complete quarantine yet, but do we have any quarantine tips or quarantine etiquette we could share? Does anybody have any?
etiquette wise, like don't be assholes to people who can't stay home because not everybody has the luxury of just missing work, you know. People live paycheck to paycheck, families live paycheck to paycheck. There's just a lot going on, so be kind. If
Yeah, guys,
there's-
be courteous, man. Now
Yeah.
actually, I just heard today that Albertsons is one of other several stores that are gonna open an hour early for elderly people, pregnant people, anybody that has at a high risk.
I think one of the dollar stores is doing that
So,
too.
like,
Like stuff
anything-
like that, guys. You know, think about it. Think about other people.
So-
man. We're all in the same boat here.
So quick story. The other day, like we actually like.
Oh,
Well,
that's
Lena
shit.
went to go get toilet paper because we actually needed toilet paper. You know what I mean?
Explain this shit.
Like
So-
we needed to go get some toilet paper. So Lena goes to get toilet paper. Go ahead and explain what happened.
Because so Chris and I were back at home now. We live with Chris's parents. Mother-in-law says, "Hey,
Shout out.
you know, can you pick up some toilet paper?" Of course, like anytime she needs something, we're down with that shit. Of course. And I had honestly mentally thought that we were better than we were just because I wasn't paying attention to how long ago we had bought toilet paper. So when she sent me the text and I looked, I was like, "Oh fuck. There's 4 of us in this house. Like, yeah, we need toilet paper." I went to Walmart on Artcraft, Walmart at the neighborhood right there on Red. I had gone to the Dollar General. I had gone to CVS. I had gone to
I
Walgreens.
still don't get it.
Okay,
This is a
let me-
respiratory.
Let me ask you
illness.
a quick question. Did you find any toilet paper at any of those places?
No way, yeah. Hey, G.
Okay, so moral of the story: Lena does not find any toilet paper at
So I'm-
multiple stores on the west
I'm
side.
texting Chris like, "Fuck, we're gonna just be shitting our pants. Like, I think I have one thing of wipes. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do, you know." And he's like, "You know what? Stop stressing out. I will take care of it." He had actually taken his lunch, and then he calls me and is like, "Yo, I found some. I'm gonna get some." And I'm like, the ruthless person. And this is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. We have to keep in mind and be courteous of each other.
Yeah, watch
because
me. So listen to what she tells me
Yeah.
to do over the phone.
He tells
As I'm standing in front of a toilet paper aisle with toilet paper on my phone. This is what
tells
Lena
me-
tells me what to do.
take it all.
She says, "Grab as much as you can."
So
And I
no,
okay,
you're
so
such a hypocrite, man.
dude, well, no, look.
No,
This is what I tell her.
So then,
So, okay, she goes, "Grab as much as you possibly can." And I look over to the person next to me, and it's a lady carrying her like 1-month-old baby, bro.
Yeah, screw her.
And then I go, "Lena, I'm only gonna take like 3 packages because there's a lady with the newborn baby right next to me." And like,
What did Lena say?
and then she's like, "Oh, God bless your heart." You know what I mean?
Oh man, I thought she would have said like, "Screw that."
The-
It's not our
and
kid.
that's the truth, you guys. To be honest with you, like we have to keep in mind that we are not the only people in this world, and that's the moment that I had to realize, like, yes, I'm thinking there's 4 of us, we need all the toilet paper we can get, but the reality is we don't. You know what I mean? Like, there's more people that are more needing and deserving of that than us. That's the reality.
One thing also is I went to Albertsons a couple of days ago, and of course there's no toilet paper anywhere. But dude, they were out of eggs. Most of the meat was out as well. Like stuff like that, it's more understandable. You know, you want to stay home and stuff like that.
And you're gonna cook and stuff.
Yeah,
I
you're
get
gonna
it.
cook, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but damn, dude, it's a little eerie, you know, going into a grocery store
And
it's
there's
always
nothing
full,
there.
There's nothing.
But yeah,
And
but at
normally
the
there's
same time,
always so much shit in a
so much
grocery store.
choice.
has failed you, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's why for all those Bernie Sanders haters,
Now what?
think about it.
I
Think about it.
It's just look, we
So-
drastically changed the demand, so obviously the supply is gonna take a while to come in. That's only common fucking sense.
But again,
whatever.
guys, I want to make it clear, man. We're not here to judge anybody. You know, we're giving you guys our opinion.
Yeah.
But
we're
what we do
humbling
want is
ourselves
for you
too.
guys to take precaution. However
You
it
know
is that you
what?
guys do it, you know, it's just make sure you guys are
Anybody
Like-
staying safe, man.
has,
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I am bulk buying beer
Fuck air, but
because there's plenty of it, you know.
dude, I was on my wife. I was FaceTiming her while I was at
There's so much beer.
Albertsons.
There's not a shortage of beer yet.
And I was showing her all the aisles and stuff, and then I was all like, "But thank God this aisle's still up." And I showed her the beer, dude, and they have that shit stacked.
Dude, I'm telling
They
you.
have
dude.
that shit stacked.
Because
But you know
beer's
what? I
more
think the
expensive.
prices are going up on that, knowing that now that they closed the bars and shit.
That's what they do on Black Friday, raise prices and shit.
Well, they know they can get away with it, so I mean
Capitalism.
it's only
Welcome
like
to America.
it's kind of like the not the right thing to do, but that's what they're gonna do if they're trying to make money. So I have a quarantine tip, right? If you're gonna stay home all day, make sure you got plenty of beer or your preferred drink of choice.
I know.
Make sure you guys got something to listen our podcast with.
Yeah.
All right.
Make sure you got.
I don't want to hear no damn excuses. I ain't got
Yeah.
time. Your shit's too
What
long.
are you doing?
Yeah.
have a good Wi-Fi connection. That way you can watch anything. You can hear all of the podcast episodes. Also, make sure that if you are going to stay home, that you take advantage of it. Get plenty of sleep. Get plenty of rest. Take this time to give the body a reset.
Go back to reading.
Yeah, read a book. Read a book. Books are nice. I like books. I don't know about you, but I like books. The last book I read was some book for school, so I guess that doesn't count. But yeah, so those are some tips. Etiquette-wise, like we said, do not be selfish assholes. And it might sound like I'm judging people, but I kind of am. Because just if everyone just gets what they need, there'll be plenty enough to go around for everyone. So
Yeah, don't overdo it, guys.
yeah, you don't have to overdo it. Like I said, just take what you need.
But also don't undermine all this. 'Cause then you won't have any toilet paper and shit.
But also, you're gonna do what you want, so just do what you want anyway. So I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. So we'll touch one lighter note, and then we'll wrap up this podcast. Remember, this is the Half a Piece of Pizza podcast, 16.5, episode 16.5. What was it? Monday, Tuesday? NFL free agency just went berserk.
Dude, you know what?
Shit
man?
was popping off, bro.
Out of all these
Popping
years
off.
of my life, I haven't been this shocked and surprised about all these trades.
Okay, so we got some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Whoa. Okay, breaking news. Tom Brady, no longer a New England Patriot. Let's give it up for that. Woo! Now we can finally, somebody else can win the Super Bowl. Okay, so Tom Brady is out. I'm super happy because I hate the Patriots. Fuck the Patriots.
But you know what, man? In some ways, you still have to give it up for what he did.
No,
with
I know.
The Patriots.
I know, but I can still say fuck the Patriots, right?
No, yeah.
How I
Right?
feel
Fuck the
about
Patriots.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What? Who's this? What?
Damn.
He understands.
Why do we gotta take a shot at LeBron like that?
Right? Yo,
Boy.
LeBron, if you're listening, bro,
Sucks.
Yeah, LeBron, if you're down to get on the podcast,
Your
let me know.
attitude
let us know, man.
Hit us up.
outside the
Maybe you'll
court,
get some new
you're a
followers
cool
that way.
person.
Hey,
But
I'll walk
on
out of
the
work
court,
right away if you say yes. Right
Um,
away.
So yeah. Anyway, Tom Brady no longer with the fucking New England Patriots. He signed a deal to
Yo,
play with Tampa
what I'm
Bay.
thinking is who's gonna keep custody of the refs, Belichick or Tom Brady?
The refs are gonna stay with Belichick.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, he's gonna keep the refs for Yeah, that's one of the big news. Well, that's like the biggest headline from NFL free agency.
Really is.
It's also kind of like a sad day for Cowboy fans, from all the trades that happened from them.
I think the Cowboys did it right. The Cowboys ended up they placed the franchise tag on Dak, which was kind of controversial, if you will. But it's because they would have to owe him a fuckload of money if they didn't. Regardless, he's going to get paid, but they still have him one
But
more
does
year.
he deserve to get paid?
Yeah, he deserves to get paid.
Said the Cowboy fan.
Yeah, because he was like the NFL leading passer last year. So I think he deserves to get paid on that note. Ryan Tannehill got paid.
Oh, true.
And he got like paid. So if he gets paid, I would say Dak deserves to get paid.
You know, there was a trade that really isn't going to make a difference, and that's Nick Foles going from the Jaguars over to the Bears.
Yeah.
But good luck to that guy.
And poor Mitch Trubisky, he probably just lost his job. Shout out to him, by the way. Also, the Dallas Cowboys re-signed Amari Cooper. He got a nice contract, over $100 million.
You know, that's probably the smartest thing that the Cowboys have done so far. You know,
Yeah.
I was actually wouldn't have been surprised if they would have let him go. You know, now that he hit free agency, but I'm glad the Cowboys did that.
Well, I think the reason they couldn't let him go is because when they traded for him, they traded a first-round pick. So they don't want him to just walk away for nothing.
And for those people that don't know, I do like the Cowboys, but they're not my number one team. My team is the LA Chargers now. And for those other 47 fans that are out there listening, Phillip Rivers is actually going with the Colts now.
Yes, Phillip Rivers is now the new Tom Brady or Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. So he's gone. Teddy Bridgewater also signed a deal with the Rams or the Panthers. So he is going to be the presumed starter there. And they've also let Cam Newton, he could seek a trade if he would like. So Cam Newton's time is done in Carolina. Do you think he goes to the Patriots?
You know what? I don't think, it's just because of the way the game goes with Belichick. I don't think that Cam Newton fits the Patriots. But I mean, it could be a way different way to go for the Patriots, a new way to start.
Yeah.
After 20 years with Tom Brady, bro, that's a big difference if you go from Tom Brady to Cam Newton.
Yeah, it's a big transition. I don't know exactly how Cam Newton would fit into Bill Belichick's game plan. He likes to run the ball for a quarterback. That's the complete opposite of what Tom Brady was doing, because he was not a threat to run at all. So to go from that to having Cam Newton, who's a physical runner, to the point where it's almost a detriment because he's always getting hurt time after time. So, yeah, a lot of NFL news. There is no live sports right now, so that was a breath of fresh air to get all this free agency going. I was really excited about everything that happened. And a little shocked, too, that Tom Brady did leave, but it's nice. End of a dynasty. So any final thoughts on the NFL free agency, Misa?
Dude, no, man. Actually, the past few years, the NFL has been kind of unpredictable, especially during the season. Didn't they also have to change the whole thing to where now there's going to be 17 regular season games plus the playoffs, and then 14 teams make it to the playoffs? That's going to help the Cowboys out a lot.
So yeah, they did reach a new collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners. They're going to move the season to most likely a 17-game regular season, and then they're going to add 2 more. That's a cool headline right there. They're going to add 2 more playoff teams to the picture, so that should give other teams a chance to get into the playoffs, i.e. the Cowboys, who are usually just right on the outside looking in. But then sometimes we don't deserve to make the playoffs, but who knows. So also, another headline, another breaking news, if you will. President Trump signs coronavirus emergency aid package. The Senate is working on another economic relief measure that could total roughly $1 trillion. Where they're getting this money from, only God knows, because I thought the national deficit was high. It's about to go even higher. Supposedly, it's
Who the fuck do we owe money to?
To everyone, bro.
Holy
Dude, who
shit.
don't we owe money
How
to?
amazing
God
is
damn.
that, right? Oh no, we don't have money for the American people.
Hey, but you know what? Now they're gonna give out checks to people. All right, for all those people that want to vote for Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden ain't gonna be doing this shit for sure.
Socialist hating people, you guys got to give your checks up. I don't know, to me, to somebody else.
Bernie Sanders, this is a time where Bernie Sanders is gonna be like, you see all this happening right now? This is gonna be a constant shit every day.
It's perfect. Trump supporters, when you look at it this way, you know what? You socialist people, give us your checks. Okay, fine. You people who don't believe in socialists, give me your check. We're just gonna be swapping checks.
Yes,
back and
yes.
forth.
Say it. Yes, preach, girl.
We're
Preach.
gonna just swap checks. Okay, on a lighter note, amid coronavirus, San Francisco, New York deemed marijuana business essential.
So what that means is like, okay, over there in San Fran, obviously they have legalized and medical marijuana. So what they were able to argue was that marijuana, it should be treated just well, dispensaries should be treated just like a pharmacy and is essential because they are selling medical.
And it's
They're
true.
selling medical
It's
products
true.
for people to
Marijuana,
use that
yes.
people depend on. So, and instead of having those places shut down like any other places, they said, you know what, this is deemed as an essential business, which
Just keep the drive-through open,
actually
bro.
kind of crazy.
But it's
You know, it'll help because you know what? Once people smoke it, they'll forget that they had plans to go out, and then they'll just stay home.
and eat all their
And they'll eat all their food.
Yeah.
Well,
But
maybe
the
that might be
reality
bad
is-
because then they might everything that they stocked up on they eat in like a night, and now what?
But the
Well, it's okay as long as they don't buy out all the toilet paper.
The reality is our healthcare is fucked up. I mean, we all know this. So in this situation, I'm glad that people are understanding marijuana's role in medicinal. It's important to understand that, yes, it can be recreational. Yes, it has that stigma. But the bottom line is it has multiple properties. And when it comes to healing attributes, that's a real thing. So I'm glad people recognize this for the people. Who
And this
really
is all
need it.
legit, coming from 3 millennials inside a garage, guys. Think about it.
I mean, we're as real as it
We speak the
gets.
truth.
Yeah.
We're like I don't know, I feel like people hate millennials, and
But
They
we're
hate
not even
millennials because
millennials.
we've like
actually
right in the
not.
middle
Or are
of
we?
like.
yes,
We're-
we've had this conversation. We are millennials.
my
We're
bad.
full.
Yeah, you know what? We're not going to
millennials.
continue this. For people that are listening, go back into all the other podcasts and you'll hear about this shit.
I
But
just feel like we're not because we're still in that classification of remembering what the world was like before everyone had a phone and it was connected to, and we were connected to each other like we are now. You know
That's
what I
true,
mean?
man. You know what?
we're still millennials.
I feel like kind of lucky about that. You know, growing up with all without any of this shit, and then
And then to
now-
have
like
it's
think
definitely-
about
Have
it
it.
this way. They're like coronavirus is breaking out. Like there's an outbreak of coronavirus here, and what are we doing? We're doing a podcast, baby.
Hell,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Put it. Yes, sir. Podcasting. Yes.
Yes.
Two songs from Tyler.
Yes.
Any good news or anything positive that you know about this and you want to put in the links below, tell us, please.
No sea mamón.
Thank you, Theo.
Thank you, Churches Theo. Mises Theo in the back. Wait. Well, you had one more thing else to say, right?
No sea mamón.
Oh, okay. You just wanted to repeat that even louder. Wait, you have something else to say one more time?
No sea mamón.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Theo, you need to
Oh,
go
loud.
home.
Yeah.
Please.
Can we get him an Uber? Oh no, they suspended that too.
Did they?
Yeah,
No
Uber and
way.
Lyft services suspended.
Well, I mean, people aren't
Water-
supposed to be going anywhere. so
Whataburger's only serving the drive-through. So
I only go drive through Whataburger. anyways, so-
Taco Cabana is offering no delivery fee. So hit them
Oh,
up.
also real quick for all the local people around here, I don't know if it's all Circle K's. There's a Circle K where I live by over on Red and Escondido, and they're offering free coffee for all medical and
Fire and
like
police.
yeah, police free
Nice.
coffee for all
And
them.
you know what? Shout out everyone that are on the front lines, everyone who is in public service, especially health professionals, but grocery store workers too. Y'all getting, you know what? Be kind. That's all I gotta say. If you want to tell us better ways.
Yeah, but also at the same time, you grocery workers, if y'all are sick, stay home, all right? I don't want to go and buy some eggs and then come home with the coronavirus.
But if
No way. Hey,
But at the same time, America could take care of all its workers, including those grocery workers who need it the most.
But you know what? This is gonna be a time where like America is gonna do shit for us.
I mean, the
You
fact
know what I mean?
that we can't handle this pandemic, like, if the fact that our healthcare system can't manage this, can't take care of its people, how people are literally thinking, like, I'm gonna lose my house. Like, the fact that the United States of America, supposed to be this world power, cannot take care of
That's
its
all
American
propaganda, girl.
people in this time of need, that baffles me. And how we don't think there should be change and more should change, that baffles me more. Get out and vote.
I'm down to cancel the next election and just bring back Obama.
Oh, real quick, you know what?
down.
I was listening
But I
to
love Obama.
I was listening to some news today from LA, and they're planning to keep schools closed for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'd heard that too.
Damn.
But you know what?
So
But
I mean, if
that's
that
what I'm
happens
saying.
here, God diggity damn.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the
Stop
fact-
having kids. That's also a major problem in the world.
No, it's not.
Population control.
No,
We're
that's
running out
real.
of space,
Oh my gosh.
air, water, everything.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper's already gone.
I've been wiping my ass with sandpaper.
Dude, that one meme where it's like my ass, and then after wiping with Dollar General toilet paper. Have you seen that one?
No.
Oh, dude, it's just some red face all like messed up. It's hilarious. I thought that was good.
I think you'll probably get an infection even worse with shit like that.
Shout out to the internet again. You know what?
Never
I saw
used it.
another internet or meme on the internet was like, no matter how bad shit gets, we're always gonna just be making memes about it until the very end.
And you
which
know
is
what?
true.
A lot of people get upset with like memes, you know, taking it too far. But come on, guys, we need humor in our life at our worst time.
Yeah, right now we need a little bit of humor.
Like I've told people before, tragedy is just humor misunderstood.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Like, because so there's this comedian I'm a super big fan of. Her name is Wolfie. And it's kind of something that she says that humor can heal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I understand that sometimes, okay, certain things shouldn't be laughed at, but at what point are you going to be sad for the rest of your life about everything?
Right.
You have to find, I don't know, that little sliver of happiness, that little
Right.
silver lining. And, I mean,
Like I went to the bar the other day and I asked for a Corona without the virus.
and they didn't like it.
And the guy there was like,
He's like,
Fuck
get the.
yeah.
He's like, no, I'm pretty sure, I would have thought he would have been like, bro, get the fuck out, dude. And then Misa was like, no way, yeah, hey,
hey, that's me,
Yeet.
by the way, guys.
yeah. So, anyways, guys, let's give our final thoughts, and we'll wrap up this episode 16.5, conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Once again, thank you guys for joining us, Misa. Any final thoughts tonight?
Yes, guys. First of all, make sure you all stay fresh.
Stay
All
fresh
right.
and stay clean.
So fresh and so clean. But also thank you for listening. Everybody listening. Make sure to spread the word. A big shout out to Chris and Lena for hiring me on this job that I very much needed because I might be laid off soon. I work at the airport, so you never know.
Have unlimited
So-
supply of love.
But thanks, guys. It's gonna be a good time with us. I hope everybody spreads the word. We want people to connect with us. We want people to ask for our autograph and pictures once we go out and about.
Just don't shake my hand.
Yeah, it's just
Just for now,
20 feet away, please.
until we get this Corona thing under control.
Hey, which they say is not gonna be till like next year or
Which
something.
may not be for a while, so don't shake hands anymore.
Yeah.
Lena, any final words?
Um,
Producer Lena, or you know what I just thought of? Have you guys ever heard of Lena the Plug? She's it's because there's this guy. His name is Adam22 No Jumper. You don't know who that is?
yeah.
No, bro.
Jesus Christ, man, it's a God, fucking damn it! You're like 38 in culture, in today's culture, he's
That's
an
what
old
hap-
man.
That's what
If
happens
I know
when you
it
have
and
kids.
You don't, no. If I know
That's
it and
I'm
you
never having
don't,
kids
that
at this
means
point.
nothing.
Hell no. Okay, anyway, a lot of people know what No Jumper is. Lena the Plug, that's the host of No Jumper. That's his girlfriend. And so what I was thinking is Lena the Producer. That's a
There it
good
is.
name.
There it is. Yes.
Yeet. Any final thoughts, Lena the Producer?
No. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you for listening. Again, we're always open to new ideas. We're cultivating something as pure as we can. So just let us know if you want to spend time with us too. We're open to it. That's the best part about this is that it's just going to change every single day, and we look forward to speaking with
Yeah,
you
for real, guys, because we might blow up, and then it's gonna be hard to be on this.
And let's hear from intoxicated Chris one more time.
Please.
All right, dude. Well, I think this is gonna be the end. But we found out a lot about you.
I found out a lot about you part is hilarious. Let's hear that one more time.
All right, dude. Well, I think this is gonna be the end. But we found out a lot about you.
What a
For the
great
love.
time. I love doing the podcast, guys, by the way. So make sure, like I said, guys, we're going to update our socials. Episode 16.5 will be out for you guys soon. We'll have episode 17 coming up after that, followed by episodes 18, 19, and 20. We're still trying to book for those. I think we have a few of them booked. We'll have to confirm that. Make sure to follow us on Facebook. Make sure to give us a share. Find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, the Anchor app. Thank you for everyone who's supported. Thank you for everybody that's been listening. We really appreciate you guys. You guys make doing the podcast worth it. And before we are out for today, let's throw it to Misa for one more jam on that harmonica.
There you
No
go.
sea mamón! Tío, go home!
We out.